It's my first visit to Thame, but I know a bit about it because my colleague on Radio 2, Ken Bruce, lives here. So he often describes the commute and the journey. He loves the place, actually. It was just serendipity, as with most of these things. Jimmy Young was 82. He said he wanted to die at the microphone. And I think one of the bosses saw this and thought that does not sound like a good idea. They discovered he was 82 and they thought they better do something about it. The idea that when you're 82, you're going to be ready to leave, actually you're even keener to stay. That's the fundamental misunderstanding of aging, is that we think you become more willing to give things up, but actually become more reluctant. And then I suppose I was sitting in for him, I think, on holidays, and I didn't even realize what I was getting myself into. I was on Newsnight at the time. The Daily Show, the Radio 2 show, the challenging thing about that, I think, is that you build very, very slowly with the audience. I thought when I took over from Jimmy Young, it might take me a couple of weeks to be established. I then realized it might take me a couple of years, and I now think it's a couple of decades. In terms of talk, and what I mean, some people describe it as a news show, but I always think it's more like just topical chat. Big political nights are when you really feel, I guess it would be like a West End premiere of a show, and you're singing or something. You know, it's that sort of level of explosive energy, particularly with the graphics, where you're having to gesture and move at speed, and I'm in this weird CGI space, as it's called. It's all green. I can't see anything, but I'm in the House of Commons or I'm in Downing Street. It was amazing on the inside in, I think, 2017, because we had the snap election. Obviously, everybody thought that Labour would go below, or lots of people thought Labour would go below 200 seats. They might do worse than Michael Foot. And then we got these projections, and they were extraordinary. The SNP not collapsing, but being severely derailed in Scotland. The Conservatives being pinned back, needing to form an arrangement with the DUP. And Labour making a big advance, doing really well, getting a really high percentage of the vote for them. So we get that at 9:30, is the exit poll. There's a genius behind it called Professor John Curtis. We mustn't tweet anything or say anything, actually would be illegal to do so. So we just all stand there with our jaws hanging slack. And then we go and we build the first graphic, and then suddenly it's 10 o'clock and Dimbleby starts, and I say, here we go, here's the House of Commons. And it's the most amazing moment, because you can feel the whole nation just leaning into the TV going, what? I think what I've learned is that we've moved from the astronomers to the astronauts. We've moved from people who look at things from a distance, let's call them experts, to people who experience them, let's call them ordinary people, listeners. We've moved from expertise to experience. We now, if you want to talk about the danger of ladders, you speak to somebody who's fallen off one. If you want to talk about psychopathy, you talk to a psychopath, not a professor of psychology. If you want to talk to an expert in parenting, you speak to a mother of 5. That's where we are.